Welcome back to Her Profit Era. Today's episode feels like such a full circle Canadian girl moment for me because I'm talking to two women who built something incredible from one of the smallest, most beautiful corners of BC. Robyn and Monika are two moms from Ucluelet, a tiny town on Vancouver Island, who just wanted to start a cleaning business. Nothing fancy, no huge plan. No, we're going to build an empire at the beginning. There are simply two women trying to create something of their own, and that little business turned into mint cleaning, a full plant based home and body care line that's now stocked across Canada, loved by thousands, and strong enough to land them a deal on Dragon's Den with Brian Scudamore from 1 800 Got Junk. In today's conversation, we get into how a small town service business turned into a national product brand, what it really looks like to grow a business, the behind the scenes of the experience at Dragon's Den, scaling, margins, the real numbers behind product based growth. Robyn and Monika are proof that you don't need to be from a big city or have a big network to build something meaningful and have an impact. You just need to start and keep going. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Thank you, Robyn and Monika, for joining me on Her Profit Era today.
Thank you for having us, Jinx. We'll just sing the whole time. Yeah. We're like those Australian twins that just yeah. No, seriously.
Could you share a little bit about yourselves and how you started mint cleaning?
Do you want do you want the full 5-minute story, or do you want it condensed into like a little snippet?
You can do like a condensed.
Yeah,
that's fine, and then we can go deeper too.
Condensed. Go for it. I can probably do a little. So our story that maybe some people know or don't, but we actually met at like this little mom get together. Both of us had young babies at the time, and I kind of was telling some friends at the time I was thinking of doing some cleaning on the side because there's so many B&Bs in Ucluelet but no cleaners at the time, and I was hearing my friends struggle not having cleaners. So I'm like, you know what, I could do that with babies, so that. And I guess at the same time Robyn was also saying that to some others. So one of the women in the group was like, yeah, you guys are saying the same thing. Talk. And for some reason I hadn't met Robyn yet. Like, it's Ucluelet, I knew everyone, and I already was like, who's this hot new mom? And then anyway, we decided to go for a walk the next day, which was weird for both of us, like a first date kind of friendship. And then we hit it off immediately. We always say it was like the stepbrothers scene. We're like, did we just become best friends? Yep. And by the end of the walk, we're like, should we just start a cleaning business together? And we're like, yeah. And that night, I was such a small town. I was already getting like messages and texts like, I hear you're starting a cleaning business. Like, please, like, we'll hire you, blah, blah, blah. So needless to say, within weeks, we had kind of like 50, we're managing 50 properties. We're already hiring staff that time. And so it just grew and grew and grew. And then it kind of hit around COVID time, 2020. This is like 3 years later. We both, after using, all we were using is like, the bleaches, the harsh chemicals. Both of us kind of got sick. Robyn actually had scarring on her lung, which is like a big turning point for us. Like, what are we using here? But any of the kind of commercial eco-friendly, quote, actual not eco-friendly cleaners sucked. We're like, what are we gonna do? So we just started like experimenting and making things in our kitchens late at night when the kids were in bed. And then that is kind of literally how it was born. And then our social media was kind of following at that time with our cleaning content. And then they saw us making products and they were like, would you make some extra of that? I'd buy that. So it kind of started out very small, just making like 12 of something. And then all of our followers were quickly buy, and we're like, okay. And then I'll just keep rambling here. Yeah, so you're doing good. Okay, and then so a year into this, all of a sudden our products are taking off. We actually ended up getting a little Shopify website and labels, and our cleaning business is still so busy. I had 3 kids. Robyn's got twins. Wow. We're like, something has to give. 2021. We handed off the cleaning business and dove in headfirst with the products, and then soon followed, like, we asked to be in the Jilly Box. We moved to separate locations. We got awards. We were on Dragon's Den, and now we're in over 350 stores across Canada. We're got a deal with Dragon's Den, and we're on track for like 9 million this year. So that's amazing. Good. You did great.
You guys are amazing. Like, just hearing your story is so incredible to see. You guys are from like a small town in BC. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they think like, I'm from a small town, like I could never make an impact or like grow. What was your mindset like throughout like the whole journey of like building Mint Cleaning?
Your turn, Robyn.
Oh no, yeah, it's funny. We just did a talk on building a big business out of a small town. I like to joke is like we didn't know any different. We didn't have a choice, but we knew we wanted to be here. We knew we wanted to raise our kids here. We didn't want to move, and we just made it work. And I think it was a lot of luck. Finding the right location is really difficult in a small town, and being able to scale and shipping logistics. We worked really hard on getting our shipping down and getting a special Canada Post pickup and all those things you wouldn't think about living in a big city. But we just kind of made it work. But we are so grateful that it's possible. We are doing it. You don't need to be in a big city to build a big business. And we just kind of clunked our way through it and made it work.
Yeah, we always say, I think starting in a small, you have advantages as well, because when we started selling our products, this town was the first to pick up on that and drive out our houses, drop them off. We kind of joke we were like the milk lady of cleaning products going around. We just built so much support, and our first community was our own community of people buying mint. So we look at it like if we were in Vancouver or somewhere big, we don't know that we would have that same initial like launch, right? So we think of it as an advantage to be in a smaller town, minus the shipping and all those things, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important to like build a community.
Totally.
What was it like being on Dragon's Den? Like, what made you apply? Like, were you guys thinking about it when you started your product? What was that whole experience like?
Well, I can go. Yeah. So my brother has actually been on Dragon's Den twice for his business, and he's this was way back in like 2006, so kind of when Dragon's Den was
Started?
Yeah. And so he was just like, it's been amazing for my business. You should definitely do it. I highly recommend it. And I've always had it like in the back of my head, like what if we were on Dragon's Den one day? That'd be so cool. And you were more against it. You were like, never will I go. Like, I would not put myself in that situation.
I have a very nervous stomach.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah.
And then so then I was just like, Monika, what about Dragon's Den? And then it was just kind of a joke that she said, well, if they reach out to us, then I'll go on. And then it was like literally the next day, their producers reached out to us because they were like doing auditions and invited us to audition for it. And I was like, Monika, look.
I was like, are you kidding? It's like, she dropped it up in email as a joke, and it was too funny. Like, it was like the next day.
It was wild. And then it was just like, I guess we're going to Dragon's Den. And then we just, we sent in a video, and then we did like a Zoom interview. We had to do like a pretend like pitch as if you're pitching to the dragons on Zoom, and it was like really awkward and nervous. But and then we got picked to be on the show, and it was just like a wild ride. And it was amazing.
It ended up being the best thing. I always credit Robyn because obviously I was the naysayer. Ended up like the scariest moment turned, I think, most proudest moment when we're standing there and the 4 out of 5 of them were kind of fighting over us, and I was just like, what is life right now? How is this happening? And it was a really cool moment.
Scary as all hell though.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And how many times did you guys like practice your pitch before even like being in front of the dragons?
We can still do it. Millions. So we actually hired a pitch coach as a recommendation from one of our friends that was been on it. And it was so helpful because she was like, gave us really good tips. She's like a news anchor, so she really knew how to like present herself and how to speak. And so she would go over our pitch and we would practice it in front of her, and she'd tell us like little tricks, like stand this way or do this way or pause here. Or so that was really helpful. And we just practice and practice and practice and practice like hundreds and hundreds of times. So
one of us would be walking down the street and one of us would just be like, hi dragons, and then it would just scale, okay, now we got to do the full minute, because you have a minute kind of thing you prepare as your pitch. And we'd have to do it the whole walk. And then I think the first thing we said when we walked out after we filmed and we were on a high, obviously we walked out of the building, we just started hugging. We're like, we never have to say that pitch again. Just feeling ever.
But that was like, it was so great because it is obviously the most intense experience. And if we didn't memorize it that much, I don't know how, like, we wouldn't have nearly done as well. Like to know, like to have that locked into your brain, no matter what, no matter what happens, or, it was really, really important. Yeah.
Especially like the number side. I feel like they're really big on like the valuation, knowing your sales.
Yeah. if you're going on, and we watched so many episodes, we wrote down every question,
Literally every single
I
question.
think they'd ask.
Yeah.
They'd give you like a booklet too and say like, here's some things you should know and stuff. So we just made sure we wrote out cue cards. We practiced in front of our staff. We got them to pretend to be 5 dragons. We set up a whole thing upstairs.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, we had questions written on cue cards for them. So, and I actually think that made me more nervous than the dragons.
Totally.
Like, embarrassed doing.
Yeah.
That would, any advice I could give to anybody, that really helped, because it just felt like you didn't know what question was coming at you from who and what, and it really helped. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you ended up with the deal with Brian from 1-800 Got Junk. What was the experience like from getting a yes to actually like working with him? Because I know there's like a whole due diligence process. There's so much that goes on after the pitch.
Yeah, a lot goes on after the pitch. So it took about a full year before we actually signed on the dotted line that we made a deal. So if you watch the show, we could see that we did take a deal with like Michelle and Brian. And then one of the dragons kind of takes over the due diligence. So that was Michelle and her team. And so we had a few meetings with her, and it just was pretty clear to us from the beginning that it wasn't going to be a good fit with her and her team. It just different values, different expectations, and it just didn't align with, where we wanted to grow the business. And so we didn't hear from Brian at this point. We just thought, okay, we're not going to do a deal with her because you're not legally bound to do any deal that when you say on the show. And so we were able to pull out of that. And so we did. And then we just thought it was over. And then Brian's team reached out. I mean, a couple weeks later, was like, hey, I know that you didn't do the deal with Michelle. We would still love to talk to you. And we're like, sure, take the meeting. We were like, at this point, we're like, I don't think a deal's going to happen. Yeah. And then we met with his team and him, and it was just a complete different experience. And he was so amazing, and like our values aligned, and we just knew that it was the right fit. And then so we continued having the due diligence with his team, and it was we signed on with him. He's been great.
We call him our mint mama.
Yeah, our mint mama. So we ended up signing with him in like February, and so then we have like monthly meetings with his team, and he definitely allows us to run the business. He's not like super hands-on, but it is so great to have like that accountability. And we've been to his like office, and we have access
going again in December as well.
So we have access to like all his team, his accountants, his financial experts, and everything. So it's been really great that way. Yeah,
that's amazing. Just having like those resources available.
Totally. I always say like having a billionaire on your having a billionaire Rolodex in your back pocket is kind of nice. So it's been great.
What are you guys working on like after like the Dragon's Den, working with Brian? Do you guys have like more products in the work? Like how do you just decide, like do you just go all in on what you're currently working on, or like are you guys expanding, growing?
We kind of did a bunch of that after Dragon's Den that year. 2024 was like our fun year. It was like awards, news, Dragon's Den. It was like dopamine hit after the Toronto four times.
Yeah.
It was just dopamine hit after, and we're like, wow, this is life. And then 2025 hit, and honestly, it's been like one of our tougher years, even though like great things like, we got Brian and all this, but now it was like time to really be serious a bit and grow and with distribution, with manufacturing, all these new things that weren't really part of Mint, and all these kind of people's hands outside of Mint happening. So getting all that going, I don't know if anyone how much work that takes and the process of all that, but just as of recently, all of that's kind of going smoothly. But that's kind of been this year. We kind of were like 2025 was no launches. It was just in place, getting all this. But then of course, like us being us at the very end, all of a sudden, like 2 weeks ago, we just launched like 4 new products.
Yeah.
We're like, whatever. something. We needed some excitement this year, because we were like, man, 2025. But it was fine. But now we look back at how much, like I was just thinking that today, I'm like the beginning of 2025 versus now, it's actually like, okay, we're there. It was a really tough year though. It was, and anyone, we ended up talking to some founders of some big companies, and they said, you're going to hit that year, the real, where you're just these little underdogs, and it's all exciting, and you're writing it. And then it's like, then you hit that year, and everyone has it apparently. So
and then top that with like tariffs, Canada Post strikes, shipping delay. I mean, I think it's a really hard go for small businesses right now, in spite of, everything that Monika said too. It's like, tack that on. So
it's been
challenging.
Fun year.
No.
Are you guys just shipping like across Canada, or are you guys like in the States as well?
Yeah, so the States has been our biggest pain point this year since the new tariffs came in. It's dry material, but it's like that de minimis. So you were able to ship anything for under $800 over the border. Now it's like you can't ship anything without extensive paperwork, all this stuff. It's been really, really extremely challenging. Like they're just making it as hard as possible to ship anything over the border. But anyway, we're making it work. We have the paperwork, and yeah, we're still
Just
like
like laughing because we're like, okay, so we just tested it with a bunch of states orders, and we're like, we literally made no money on any of those orders.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So it's gonna be a bit more. We got to figure it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Luckily, most of our customers is Canada's. Like we don't have any retail stores in the States besides one in Chicago. So luckily for us, our focus on Canada has really paid off right now. So we're really feeling it for the businesses where most of their business is through the States. I'd rather at work.
the Buy Canada movement was huge for us this year too. I have to say, like Canada rallied and was at March, and
100%, yeah.
Our sales were through the roof, and the amount of new customers and support, and so we're so grateful for Canadians in Canada because like Robyn said, even through the Dragon's Den, we met a lot of businesses, and we had this big alumni meeting in Toronto, and they were all like, "You're not in this. You got to get in the States." And all their business was in the States, and now we're like messaging with them, like, "How are you guys doing?" And it's not good. So yeah, we're very grateful that we kind of stuck with our Canadian roots.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what's like one money lesson you wish you would have like learned sooner?
You were talking about, we were going over your questions earlier.
The money lesson. I think, well, it's actually Robyn usually gives this answer, but I really like it because it's so true that I think we didn't think big enough in the beginning through any of our stages of growth. We didn't go to that place that we would get to. We just made little baby steps, and then we were always kind of catching up for years. Like it was always like we were behind, or we didn't order enough of this, and we didn't rent a big enough space. Now we gotta move again, or we gotta. So it just felt like we were always kind of like treading water because we weren't quite building that next step of growth that we would get to, that we didn't know we would get to. So I think maybe having a little more faith in ourselves in the beginning, we would have saved ourselves a lot of moves and a lot of a lot of treading water for a while. But that would be, I think, a big lesson for us.
When you guys like make decisions in your business, like even from the beginning, did you guys like track your numbers, or was it more of like strategic and more like we know we need to grow and this is what we need to do? Or were you like calculating like the costs, the return on investment, just figuring out like what it's going to cost, like cash flow wise?
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's business 101, right? Is you have to figure out, are you going to be profitable? Is your business going to make money? I think that's so important. And I'm like, Monica's more like the marketing. I'm definitely more like the numbers brain. I'm checking the bank account like every 5 seconds. So I think, yeah, that's really, really important. And it is challenging with luxury cleaning products. I mean, people aren't going to spend $25-$30 on a bottle of all-purpose. So I think navigating that and our margins and the cost of goods, it's been challenging. So we're playing the volume game. So we're just trying to, grow more and sell more to make that profit. But yeah, it's so important. Gotta have cash flow.
Back to the struggles for small businesses these last couple of years, the rising cost of goods. Like anyone we talk to, it's just like, oh my, and you can't put that on your customer. You now pay triple for something, but we can't triple the cost to the customer. So yeah, it's just like Robyn said, let's just sell more of it then.
Yeah.
Were you guys always like paying yourself in the business? Because I know that's where a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, like actually taking money out of the business to pay themselves.
I would say it's huge. So pay yourself first, pay your employees first has been our like it's number one. So we've taken a salary ever since we had a cleaning business. I mean, you can't be getting paid in meatballs, right? If you can't pay yourself, I think you don't really have a business worth pursuing. So it's been we're so lucky that we're able to pay ourselves. It was very little at the beginning, but we made it work. So,
and we did have the backing of like the very beginning, our cleaning business, which was doing well and making money. So that really helped us with the products in the beginning. We didn't really have to take out big loans in the very beginning or anything. We had that business going, but then when we did hand it off, that was our big like, okay, this is like now we're on our own here with the product. So
Yeah.
but luckily it took off.
And I think it sounds woo-woo, but we kind of write down our money goals and like our revenue goals every year. And for some reason, it basically hits right on that exact number, which is wild to me.
Amazing.
So I think having that like intention as like, we're going to hit this amount this year, no matter what. And then somehow the universe just like unfolds itself to make that happen for you. So I think that's been huge. It kind of sounds out there, but if you just put that intention out there, write it down, have that goal, and then sometimes, yeah, it ends up working out. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you both like work so well together? What happens like if you guys don't agree on something? Like how do you guys decide what works best for the business?
Monica?
And we always laugh.
Our fights.
We're always like, people always want the tea on
tea.
us and think we're like, and really are just truly very compatible. We always think we must have been some kind of sisters or like husband, wife or something in a past life. Like you're just so unagi. It's crazy. But there are the odd things. I think our disagreements are more in small, minor things. If there's anything big business wise, we have to totally agree. We can't be like, one of us wants this big thing and it's like, well, fine, okay, you get the term. It's just like anything big, we always come to the same agreement. For little fun things, it's kind of like, well, you like that smell better than me. Maybe the next thing we could do this smell I really like. And it's like, yeah, go for it, or whatever. Little compromises like that. But I think communication has been our biggest thing we've learned along the way, is just, and obviously in the beginning we would have those times where something I said maybe hurt her feelings or something, but then she wouldn't tell me right away. And then it was like, and now we've just learned, like, we just nip everything right away and we just talk so well. Like we're like the best relationship, that we're like the best marriage that you could have.
Yeah. Even it happened yesterday. You're like, you said that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you have to have that respect and lightness to it. It's like, you said that kind of, and not be so defensive and say, oh my God, I would never want to hurt her.
No, and
vice versa.
Yeah. No, and I think like we both have a sense of humor too. So for the most part, we can take the that's something random, but we haven't it's huge.
Right. No, it's being open and honest.
Yeah, but in that way where it's like usually those things you just wouldn't mention because you're like, oh, but it's just like, did you really mean that, or like or something? And we just kind of open up the conversation, and then it always ends up making us even stronger in the end. And,
a good way to frame it is like, the story I'm telling myself in my head is that you think that I'm blah blah blah, and that usually helps. It's like, no, it's just a story. It's just something that you're making up in your head. So bring it back. Yeah.
How do you guys decide like how to delegate things and who covers what? Or are you guys both working on the same type of things in the business?
Yeah, it kind of like happened really organically. So we're just really using like what we're interested in and kind of what our talents are. Monica's an amazing marketer. She's so creative. Her brain just works that way. I'm more of like a back end, boring spreadsheet kind of person. So I really enjoy that. And then so it's just, we just are work that way.
We always feel bad. Like Emily's like, you do everything. She's like, what? No, I feel bad because you do that. Like, so we both think also we're both slacking. Like we're both like, you work more than I do, or not more, but like that's way worse. And but that's the thing. What I enjoy, she really doesn't enjoy, and vice versa. So we always have to remember that. Like we are just so lucky again that our roles were just naturally divided with what we kind of each thrived in and took off in, and
then she lets me thrive in that way. She's not like, and then I let her thrive in that way too. I'm like, you're the marketing queen. You can deal with, what newsletters are going to be pumping out and what we're posting on Instagram, and I'll order bottles, and so it's kind of staying in your lane too a little bit, which I think really works.
I feel like sometimes even Robyn's like, just so you know, we paid this out of this today. I'm like, oh, how?
Yeah.
I should know a bit more than I know. But actually, Dragon Sen was really good for me because I was like, oh, wow.
Man, look at our numbers.
So,
yeah.
It was because I'm just, that's not my brain. And like, I just think more of like, oh, like we can make a sale this, or this video would be funny for this part. Or like, so we just, we work in ways like,
Yeah, I feel like your content is so great. You can tell you guys like both compliment each other, and it's like so different too.
Yeah, we're very, very different.
Yeah.
But in great ways. I'm a sleeper. She's not a sleeper. I'm a napper.
Yeah, we're like complete opposites out of it. So then we have the same brains.
Yeah,
really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, very different.
Awesome.
Yeah, just like opposites attract.
Yeah, totally.
What's like one piece of advice you'd give to like another like woman entrepreneur that's like still in like the starting phase of like starting her business, not really sure where it's going?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, two things. I think one of our big things is, and we do a speech on, is like say yes, figure it out later. I think a lot of people get stuck in the no's or the what ifs or the like, but how, like those kind of, and for us, Rob and I have this weird ability to be like, yeah, and then we just figure it out. And it's like scares people. And I think even our partners in the past have been like, you guys just like, and as a negative thing, but then it always does work out. I think because the pressure that we said yes, now we really got to figure it out. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're always watching, well, next week, or I got to get this appointment done first, or this has to be perfect. Like, get that out of your head. And I think the second piece of advice I would say is like, we did this in a town of 2,000 people, no hospital, like no red lights, and 3 kids, twins. Like we kind of had all the things stacked against us to make a successful business happen, and we still did it. So I just think
If we can do it,
so can you.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How do you guys like manage and like balance your time? I know there's no such thing as like balance.
Yeah, we hate that word balance.
Why does the word balance?
There's just one more thing we're not doing right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's definitely, we're still working on it. I've really, I think we both got burnt out last year. I would say last winter, really starting to feel that, and like we're both really focusing on self-care this year. Whatever that means. It's just little things, like even like journaling in the morning, or not picking up your phone as soon as you wake up, because you can get so obsessed with your business and so locked in that it becomes like a, I don't know, what do you call those, hamster wheel,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And I think we've definitely felt the negative effects of that, of not having that, and it's just still an ongoing battle. It's still something we're working on.
Yeah,
but it's difficult.
by trying to have that, like in the beginning, we would work weekends or be like, or all sneak in. It's like almost like, it's not like we were fighting. It was like we were both just trying to prove maybe to each other, even of like, and when it was in that fun, exciting growth, I do feel like we were working like 7 days a week.
Oh yeah.
And then now we truly just take like our weekends off with the families, and we do like evenings. No, we're not really talking too much work in the evenings, and slowly but surely it's come around. But we tried to have boundaries in the beginning, and it's just like, dude, we don't have boundaries with each other. We're like, I'm like midnight. I know she won't answer, but I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
It's always still a friend where you don't need boundaries with.
It is.
It's like you're everything.
I'm a no boundary gal.
It's we're good.
I know. I see so much of that now. I'm like, so boring boundaries.
Yeah. At least have one person who has that boundaries.
100%.
So I recommend.
So you can just send me a reel, whatever you want to do.
3 a.m, you can text me.
No boundaries.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Horrible advice.
Yeah. Less boundaries.
Yeah.
Less.
Going back to Dragon's Den, like after the show aired, did you guys feel like you had the capacity with all the demand and all the orders that were coming in? What was that like?
It wasn't like a huge. We definitely felt it, but it wasn't like an insane amount of orders. It was really great to use that marketing after, like as seen on Dragon's Den on your website.
Yeah.
That's been really great. But we were kind of like on a crazy growth trajectory anyway.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell if it was directly linked to Dragon's Den, but just having that, obviously it was great for our business, and having that marketing, it's been awesome.
And Canadians love Dragon's Den, so I think when we're saying that Buy Get Mine movement, those big Facebook groups with like millions of people were joining. I was just in there all the time with the Dragon's Den logo and us, like we were on Dragon's Den, and then people like, wow, like it's like Robyn said, it's not so much the moment you're aired, it's more so having that logo as seen on, or we got to deal with the dragon, or that really captures kind of like, it's a whole marketing.
Gives you street cred.
Gives you real Canadian street cred. Yeah. Even Americans, they're like, they just call it Shark Tank, but like they just they're
everyone knows like UK, it's Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
Every like country has their form of.
That's right.
So it's really cool that it's like kind of worldwide recognized.
Totally.
Right. And how was it like building your team? Because I know that's an area where a lot of people struggle with too, is like building the team, delegating, not taking on so much work themselves, whereas entrepreneurs are just so used to doing everything themselves.
Yeah, that was a struggle, like you working on the rather than in the business. You know, at the beginning we were still packing orders. Even up until last year, we were still on the floor packing orders, filling bottles, this kind of thing. But I think in the past year we've really kind of delegated more, and it's been amazing. It's like having the best team. We're so lucky that we have an amazing team. So I think it's really scary for entrepreneurs to do that. But I mean, I would say just kind of trust and go for it, because then it allows you to be more behind the scenes growing your business and making those connections and being able to travel more to business forums and that kind of thing. I think it's it's been really great.
Yeah. And the growth also, not just within our team here in Yuki, but then also, like we said, now we have like manufacturing in Vernon and our distribution in Calgary and that whole other team, people with like your name, your brand in their hands, so it's finding that trust and letting go a bit, which I think, lucky for Rob and I, we're not like crazy like A-type perfection-y. We're not really type, so I think that works well for us, because we are kind of like, oh great, like they're doing a great job, like we're kind of started happy. For the biggest struggle for me, I think, with all of it was we actually like formulated the recipes ourselves and handmade them all here, so all of our recipes were our recipes. It wasn't like we just white label company to slap our label on it and give it the scent we wanted. It was actually ours. So when we started the process of manufacturing, that was, I think, for me personally, one of the hardest things, because these were our babies, and we were like, they would send us a version of our dish soap and we're like, this isn't quite right. So being so scared that our customers would notice and stuff. So it took a year of back and forth with the manufacturer before they got the recipes. Like,
they must have hated us.
They hated us. So we're like, it's close.
Yeah.
A little lemongrass. They're like, oh my God. So it was hard for them too, because a lot of them had their own like basic recipes of things, but we wanted ours, so it was all a whole bunch more paperwork and all of it, but it was all worth it, because we buy our products first and foremost, so to have those perfect was really important.
So important. Before we started recording, like we were just talking about your products. I'm someone that struggles with like eczema on my hands, so just finding like hand soap, even like dish detergent that wouldn't like burn and irritate my skin, and like your guys' products were like the first type where it actually felt good on my skin and didn't irritate it. So I just wanted to talk more about like your products and like the impact it's really having and the benefits.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I know you have like skin issues too.
As she mentioned, we were talking before, and we were just away for a week in Kelowna Salmon Arm, and obviously just using the hotel hand soap and soaps everywhere, and my eczema, you got so bad. I came over my rings, my hands were swollen, are showing. I'm like, wow, this is just not from not using my hands or hand soap like for a week. So you really do notice. And I really notice when I go in a store and go down a laundry aisle now, my eyes burn, I can't breathe. When you're just away from those synthetic fragrances and toxics, like you really notice them when you smell them again or around them again. So I feel so lucky that that I get mint in my life all day every day, because my skin needs.
Even our kids, like our friends, you can smell their like laundry detergent from a mile away. I'm like, oh, okay, what are you using?
It's strong.
It's once you're off it, you realize how much better you feel. Like, and then once you smell it again, you're like, oh, I can't do that. Even like, funny. Well, we have a B&B, and one of the customers left like a Dawn dish soap downstairs, and my husband doesn't waste anything. So he brought it up. He was just like, well, we got to use it. Like he used it, and then he was cooking again after, and he was like, he could taste it on his food. He was like, this is disgusting. And so even that, like you're ingesting that stuff too, so.
And it's the education. I remember in the beginning, people were like, oh, but they would associate clean with the smell of Tide, and I'm like, that doesn't mean your clothes are clean because they smell like Tide. Those are synthetic fragrances that are like glued onto your clothes. Actually the opposite. So it's like people are like not used to essential oils, they want it stronger. I'm like, you don't really want your clothes to smell like a scent, you just want them to be clean, so it's just like trying to educate people in that. Or even with Dawn dish of all those bubbles, we're like, that's just SLS, those are fake bubbles, those aren't doing anything, they're just there to look bubbly. So it's just like educating on those kind of products and what it all means has been a bit of our journey too.
Totally.
What made you guys choose mint?
That was our cleaning company name, so we called it Mint Cleaning Services. And when we were starting making the products, it was like, well, obviously we had to have mint essential oil in them because our name's mint. We wanted to continue with the name, and then we just were researching mint essential oil, and it turns out it's like antifungal, it's antibacterial, and it's like actually makes you feel like energized, and it's great for headaches, and it's all these amazing things. Such a great thing to have in a cleaning product. So I was just like, well, that looked out.
Yeah,
That was great.
Better. Yeah. With the cleaning business, I'm like, what should we call our cleaning business? And we're like walking around. It was our second walk.
Yeah.
First walk we said we started business. Second walk to like more logistics. And then I remember Robyn was just like, what about this? You might hate it. She's like, mint. And I was like, I love it.
Yeah.
It just means clean. It means
New.
fresh. New, like I couldn't, and it's just, it's cool. Like I was like, I love it. So we're so lucky that it just like easily translated into our next business as well.
Mint conditioning. Yeah, it was, love it now. It's just like, it's best.
Yeah. Love the color. I know like for marketing, a lot of our stores tell us.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
People walk in eye catching, and so yeah, we just it all worked out perfectly
worked
without us doing any like research or anything.
It was like all connected. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Totally.
What do the next 3 to 5 years look like for mint cleaning?
We like to have like a year, a word a year. I know a lot of people do that at the beginning of the year. So 2025 was like focus for us. So it was all about logistics and, locking down our systems and all that. I think for 2026, it's expansion. So we really are wanting to grow now, and because we have all those systems in place where we can grow. So now we've had a wait list for our stores for like the past year. So now taking on more
opening up the floodgates.
Yeah, and doing more advertising, hopefully more growth in the States, God willing. And so just really kind of growing to the next phase would be awesome.
Yeah. And for me too, I think this year all the systems in place and more, but we did end up doing a few speaking engagements. Like I think we've done 4 now, different topics. And as nervous as they make me, I'm like in the bathroom like full day before, like it's sickening to me. The high after and like the story we share and the inspiration that people feel from it is a really, really big high for us, and it's just kind of motivating for us to do more of that. And so we have another one coming in April. We're like, maybe we could have a goal of like once a month or once every 2 months, just going somewhere and doing some kind of speaking event and sharing our story, more podcasts, stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
What's like your last piece of advice you'd give someone that's like listening to this, they're ready to take action?
Oh, it's boring, but just start. Things are going to compound. You know what I mean? It's going to be small at first, but then, as months go by and years go by, you can just grow slowly. I would say just don't try and figure it. Like, don't worry about having everything perfect. We didn't know what we were doing at all. We didn't have any sort of we didn't have a business plan. We didn't have anything. We just did it, and you just learn as you go. So that would be my number one thing. Just don't even think about it. Just start.
Start. And like take the meeting too, which not just specific meetings, but just take opportunities. Basically, say yes to them. Take it. You'll always learn something. Meet up with that person. Some in the beginning, they're like, this person wants to meet up. Well, let's just do it. And then we're like, we learned something so valuable, or all these things we've said yes to these events. We always end up meeting something that becomes a pivotal part of our like business. And so, is that the right word?
Pivotal part. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. It's weird. Anyway, so just saying yes to opportunities. Again, back to that say yes, figure it out later. Like Robyn said, just start. It's all kind of the same family of just like go for it, and
What's your like one money guilty pleasure that you love spending money on?
Oh, mine changes. That's a tough one. Jeans.
Oh, you do have a lot.
I do. I'm on the quest for the perfect jean, and I still really haven't found it. The closest I got Gap. Funny enough, I was like, these jeans are amazing. I ordered 3 of them. So I think that's my little guilty pleasure. I'm always buying jeans, but I don't know.
I mean,
nothing juicy.
It's like every day I could pack a lunch, but we have like this cutest little cafe beside us in our bathroom and every day I get like
food,
egg sandwich,
food and coffee.
Yeah. So I think that just a daily guilty pleasure of that. I'm trying to think of what's my like other naughty.
I don't know.
Like,
you like clothes,
facials, getting your nails done.
Yeah, the nails things in a while. Yeah, right.
Not too addictive.
They're not too like materialistic in that way.
Yeah, I go through like spurts where I'm like, I'll just get on a kick of. Because I find like the trouble is if you buy a new clothing item, I don't know, then I'm like, I hate everything else, or it doesn't. Now everything revolves around new shirt. Now I need new.
Yeah.
Oh, our guilty pleasure one did spend money guiltily upon last year was we got first class off of Toronto. That was so good. First class, have you ever tried it? It's the best.
I've never been.
Money well spent.
But I couldn't look like an honor, and didn't look at the people walking back to the room,
Yeah.
which we belonged. Like, you
Yeah,
know, so I was just like, I had my head down. I'm like, nobody look at me.
Yeah.
And, but it was the best airplane, like, because it was no back, and it was like, I
It was
just
the pause.
I wouldn't even let myself, like, I was just,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
just
that was guilty.
it's just like,
It's hard to go back to economy after that.
It's really hard. I'm like, how can we get first class tickets now everywhere we go? So
we're pretty naughty together like that. Like,
Yeah.
they were like, should we just get this?
Do you want the upgrade?
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
You wrote it off.
yeah. Mhm.
Would you guys ever like open like a physical location with like all mint cleaning products?
we have one in Yuki here, our
Oh, do you?
store. So all of our the front space is an open retail space, so it's actually the best thing ever because so many of the B&Bs in Tofino and Ucluelet use mint, so all the tourists have in their B&B, then they see the headquarters is here, they come shopping, so it's been the best thing ever. So yeah, we actually do have a mint branded store.
How about like expanding to like Vancouver, like any other like Toronto or
One of our goals. Yeah, it was actually one of our goals for a long time was like having those mint branded stores like in every city. But I think with the growth, it's like one of our piece of advice is listen to your market. So the market was telling us that like our online store is growing, our wholesale program's growing. That's what's working. And so we were just kind of like, oh, wrapping your head around opening up a store in a different city means leases, a new team, so many more logistics. And I'm like, let's just focus on what's working right now. And maybe one day, but we were just like, yeah, it seems like it was just too much at the time, but never say never.
Yeah. Even Brian, who's like a franchise king, you know, even he's like, I don't recommend it. Like, you know, so it works for some things, not for others. And we're lucky that so many of the stores and refilleries carry mint, and they're like, most of them tell us like we're like 70% of their business, or it sells so well in their stores. And we're like, kind of nice because then we don't have to manage a team or a staff. Our products are selling in these stores, and we're kind of like, we're happy with that.
Yeah, no big like leases or like the team costs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, worrying about traffic and then you know, so yeah, it's working for us right now, but it was one of we were like, yeah, store in every city, but then that just seemed great.
And that's what made us expand our line so much. You're like, well, if people are gonna stop in, we gotta have like shampoo, we have to have everything.
Right.
You know, it's a one-stop shop. So that was kind of like, because now we're like, why did we end up branching into like Soma? And then we're like, oh yeah, for the franchise, but then now we're not doing that.
And that's part of the thing too, is like your business model will change over time.
Yeah,
so we had these like crazy goals, and I was like, well, that's not working, let's move it. So it's like being flexible with yourself and really sitting down and being like, is this working, is this it's not working, and then kind of doubling down on what's working. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's a really good advice. It's okay to change and pivot. I think people get stuck on there, and you can always change your mission statement. You know, you can always adjust, you can always like grow and change. And so you don't have to be like, well, you girls said when you started, hello to, right?
What's the best way for our audience to connect with you or like even buy your products?
Our website, mintcleaningproducts.com. And then we also have our Instagram at mintcleaning_. And we have a TikTok. I don't know.
We got YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. It's all at Mint.
TikTok's a little bit challenging, but we are on there. We're trying.
YouTube, people are mean. Like, I'm like dying. I just like, we started uploading like different videos on YouTube, and the comments just kill. I always send to Robyn. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, I would just personally use something else to clean that. I'm like, okay, anyway, it cracks me up. Anyway, Instagram is our community. That's where our business all came from. So that's our bread and butter of the social medias.
Thank you so much, Robyn and Monika, for being on your Profit Era. I will share all the mint cleaning details in the show notes.
Perfect. Thank you, Cindy. This was awesome. We were so happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.